We're positive on Japan, and we're actually overweight the Japanese share market and underweight the yen. And I thought the decision by Shinzo Abe to have a snap election, giving him 2 additional more years on his mandate effectively, combined with the decision to delay the tax hike from next year by, I think they're talking about 18 months. All of those things I think are positive moves, which give me more confidence that Abenomics ultimately will work. I mean, this was always going to take time, and of course there has been a minor setback with the first tax hike, but at the end of the day I think the Japanese outlook still looks pretty good, and I wouldn't read too much into the Finance Minister's comment about the yen falling too fast. I mean, he's just offering a comment there. It has fallen very quickly, but I think the broad trend in the yen is still down.
Now, when we talk about Abenomics and structural reforms, the general consensus is that there's disappointment in that third arrow. What would you like to see specifically done in terms of structural reforms in Japan once these snap elections are over?
Well, that's a good question. I've always sort of been of the view that the bulk of the Abenomics, if it was going to work, had to be on the monetary front. You know, you have to end deflation. If you end deflation, then I think a lot of the reasons for the malaise Japan has been in for the last 2 decades start to fade. So that's why I think the key focus has to be on what I usually call the second arrow, which was monetary stimulus, and they've done that in spades. They've done a lot there. On the economic reforms, you've got to be careful. You don't want to push too far too fast, because you could end up increasing the supply side of the economy at a time when demand is still weak, and that could actually be a negative. But I think what you need to see more of is just a general opening up of the Japanese economy, removing the protection that farmers currently benefit from, opening that sector up globally to make the agricultural sector a lot more efficient than it currently is, which, mind you, is one reason why he may have gone for this early poll, fearing that he might get a backlash from the farming community. Deregulating wage setting to a greater degree, opening up product markets. So they're the sort of things that need to be done. I think he has actually done a lot when you look at some of the things that have been done over the last year or so, but obviously there's still more to do.
Shane, what worries me is if fiscal consolidation in Japan has now been placed on the back burner, tax receipts are not going to be coming in, spending is going to go up because of another economic stimulus package. Isn't Japan at risk of a sovereign downgrade before the year is done?
Well, that's certainly a risk, but I don't think we're going to see a massive fiscal stimulus program there. And I think also you're still seeing the benefits come through from the sales tax hike that has occurred. And there's always a balancing act here. I think they were just moving too fast towards fiscal consolidation or fiscal tightening as a result of those sales tax hikes. And the risk was that if you had proceeded with the sales tax hike that was scheduled to occur next year, you could really knock the economy back into recession. So I think it therefore makes sense to delay it. Could there be a downgrade? Yes, that's certainly a possibility. But I think, or I hope, the ratings agencies will bear in mind that there is a balancing act here. You don't want to push too far down the fiscal consolidation path, because you could threaten the economy. The other point to note in all of this is that Japan's government basically owes the money to its own people. There's no foreign investors who are going to be clamouring here or heading for the exits dramatically. It's not going to be another Greece, for example, because Japan is still, like it or not, still the world's biggest creditor country. It's owed money by the rest of the world as opposed to it owing the rest of the world money. So I think, yeah, there's an internal issue in Japan, but I don't see a major public debt crisis occurring in Japan anytime soon.